Hey guys, my name is Dan Weber, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my van build. This build took about 4 months to complete. The pictures that you're looking at right now are the ones that I took when I first bought the van. As you can see, there's a wheelchair ramp. The person that I bought the van from has a child who's disabled, and they used to use this vehicle to transport that child, so it wasn't really abused much. When I first started the teardown process, I noticed how messy and dirty it was in the inside, so I had a lot of cleaning up to do. The first project that me and my dad undertook was installing the max air fan. This was a daunting task because neither of us has ever drilled into a vehicle before, but it was easy and simple. This fan actually gave me a lot of trouble during the installation process towards the end because and it was all my fault. I was connecting it straight into an outlet when you're supposed to connect it either to a battery or connect it with an existing wire for the lights. So I blew that fan up like 2 or 3 times. There we added some silicone so that the water can't get through. And then we also built a frame to go underneath to help support it. Now, if I can go back and do it differently, I would choose stronger, sturdier wood, but so far it's been working fine. I haven't seen anything go wrong with it. Now, when I took out that foam in the back, I realized that the van had serious rust issues, so I had to take it to a mechanic so that they can cut away the rust and weld new metal. After that, I painted the floor so that it can help prevent more rust than it already has. After that, we started installing the floor, and I quickly realized how long and tedious this process was going to be because you have to measure, then cut, then measure again, then cut again, then measure. Like it's so tedious. So we did that for the front, and then we also did it for the back. Now, if you notice, my van has like a 3-inch lift in the back. I don't know why the van came like that, but it did. Normally, it would be just a flat floor. So I did lose about 3 inches of space, which when you're living in a van, it's a lot. After installing the floor, we quickly started working on the bed. So right now we're just building the frame. So instead of using 4 legs to hold up the bed, we just used, we built like 3, I don't know, we call them rectangles to support the bed. This gives it a little bit more strength. And I like the fact that I can just store things under there without it having to move a lot. Because if I only had 4 legs, I would have to find ways to tie it down. Here we're just making sure everything's leveled and fixed. Nothing in this van was leveled. Like nothing was perfectly straight. Everything was curved or not parallel, so that was a struggle that we had to overcome. So there's my bed. After that, we started with the installation process. This was a bit annoying only because when you're installing it in the roof, you have to hold it up, but we found some sticks just to help relieve that stress until we drilled in the new wood that held it up. For the ceiling wood, I was debating whether I should go with expensive or cheap wood. I decided to go with cheaper wood only because that's not an area that I'm going to be touching or anything's gonna be really, no weight is gonna be on it, versus like the side walls or the floor. So I felt like going with cheaper wood and saving some money was the better option. Then we're just installing the cover for the MaxxAir fan. If you notice on the windows, I put Reflectix. That's just to help insulate the windows a little bit more. On the other side, I also put a black piece of vinyl so that when you're looking outside in, you can't really see anything. It's just black. Now here we made a mistake. I decided to go with cheap wood on the side, but because it's thin, the nail actually ended up seeping through a little bit. I don't know if you can see it right there. So we ended up just taking it off and putting in thicker wood. Here we're just cutting up some wood for the corners. So there were some stuff in that little corner, a lot of electronics, so we just wanted to cover that. It also served to put the AC ventilation up. And then we also did the same thing for the other side. But the other side, this is where my water system is going. So I want it all to be through gravity. So the bucket on top is high enough so that the gravity can pull it down. I didn't want no pumping system. I just wanted it all to be through gravity. And now we're just doing some details, covering up the rest of the van with wood. Yeah, so we're just covering up any little holes or any imperfections. It's like I said, nothing was straight in this van, so it was difficult to get things to fit perfectly. And then this is the bench that I decided to build. This door serves as a foothold for when I'm laying down in bed. And it's strong enough because the only weight that's being on it is my legs. The rest of my body fits in my bed, so I don't need anything too strong. You just pull those little things and it falls down. Now we just build the cabinet. And in this shot, it's a bit sideways, but we ended up fixing it after. Then we moved on to the kitchen area. I just went to Walmart and bought a bowl, and that's serving as my sink. It didn't have enough space to buy an actual sink, and also it was just very expensive, so I just didn't go that route. I actually found this in Lowe's for free because it was broken. They were gonna just throw it away, so I decided to just pick it up and use it as a countertop. I cut away the bad part, then just drill in the hole for the sink. Put some glue to make it extra sturdier, and then drill it from the bottom. And then now the painting process begins. So I decided to go with a dark stain on the back. I just really like the aesthetics that a dark color gives. So I decided to just stain it. Then we decided to add another cabinet for extra storage. And in this wall, I decided to go black. So I'm using like a matte water-based paint. Then I went to Walmart and on Amazon, and I just bought a few mattress toppers. I cut it into the right length for my bed. And then I also bought a cover to put it all in. It's waterproof, so I know if anything spills on it, there won't be a lot of damage. And then in the front, we installed, I don't know what you call those, pretty much just plastic. If water hits the rug, I want it to be caught before it hits the metal. That way it prevents it from rusting even more. So if I spill anything on the rug, it's just gonna hit that plastic, and the plan is for it to evaporate. I decided to go with a green rug because it just makes me feel like I'm in the outdoors. I'm in a backyard when I'm driving. So if you notice, I have like 3 different aesthetics throughout the vehicle. It just makes me psychological feel like I'm in a different area. Because being in a small place for too long can feel claustrophobic a little bit. Now we're just sealing up any holes so that we can install the floor. And I just decided to go with some tiles. They were very inexpensive. They're water resistant, so if I spill anything, I know it's not gonna seep into the wood. And they look really nice. Then we're just doing some details on it. We also did the rug for the chairs. So that's just me installing the chairs after putting in the rug. I had no way of accessing that storage space on like the other side because of the door from the back. So I just decided to drill a hole there. So I just put things there that I'm not gonna really use on a day-to-day basis. And then the plumbing, on that bowl, we just drilled a hole. I apologize for this next clip. It's blurry, out of focus. But this is just us installing the solar panels. My dad did go a little bit overboard with the silicone, so it looks like a mess. But hey, better to have more silicone than to have too little. We were just passing the wire through. I made the connections. I did a parallel connection, so I did positive to positive and then negative to negative. And in between every section, I use a fuse. That just gives it an extra protection in case anything goes wrong. The fuse blows and not my system. So now I'm just installing the batteries. I did the same thing. I did a parallel connection to the batteries. And I really like those fuse because it's reusable. So if anything goes wrong, I can just manually reset it. And then that clip that I just showed you, there was a lot of wires. So what we just did, we just hid it under the roof and installed lights. Yeah, just bought some LED lights. They're very, very good. I also noticed that when I was driving, the batteries would move around. So I just put those just to hold it in place. So yeah, that's my van build video. If you guys like what you see, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, adios.